Back here in Kenya, lawyer Tom Ojenda got reprieve after his colleagues successfully stopped his planned prosecution after spending 2 days in police cells. Lawyers defending Ojenda blocked attempts to take him to a plea of a Mumia Sugar company saga, arguing that a similar case was pending at the Court of Appeal. KTN's Francis Ontomo followed the court proceedings.
Ojenda, who was arrested on Friday, spent 2 nights in police custody before he was released last evening to appear in court this morning. From the word go, it was apparent that his colleagues were keen to have him freed and not be prosecuted over the Mumia Sugar company vase.
My Lord, this court and no other is uniquely placed to prevent what I can only call a DPP's office that has become constitutionally rogue.
Their efforts bore fruit when the High Court stopped his prosecution, at least until February in the new year.
My Lord, this is one such matter, especially where the DPP is accused of abuse of power under Article 158. His conduct is being called to question, and the caution must be exercised.
High Court Judge Chacha Mwita played referee to the proceedings in a case that has the professor accused of financial misappropriation and fraudulent dealings at Mumia Sugar Company. Professor Ojenda, a member of the Judicial Service Commission, was arrested Friday afternoon along Loita Street, Nairobi, and later locked up for 2 nights at the Muthaiga police station. Lawyers representing him claim that the arrest and planned prosecution had something to do with the succession fights at the Judicial Service Commission.
In the next few months, we'll be going for the elections of LSK member represented by the Judicial Service Commission. And it's not lost to us that this is one of the many attempts to try and either frustrate his candidature or ensure that he's not on the ballot.
According to the DPP, some 89 million shillings was lost in fraudulent legal fees paid through fake documents. Ojenda has had a fair share of battles with the state. The Kenya Revenue Authority is currently in court challenging a High Court order that issued the Senior Counsel a tax compliance certificate at a time when the taxman is demanding over 400 million shillings arrears from the Senior Counsel. Ojenda regained his freedom at a time when the DPP in a statement said Court of Appeal Judge Professor Otieno Odek, a partner in the law firm with Professor Tom Ojenda, was not being targeted. Nurdin Haji said Justice Odek was not on their radar and that the judge will only be used as a prosecution witness in the case against Ojenda.
Well, the courts have taken a break here for the new year, but for Professor Tom Ojenda and his legal team, they may not have that leisure as they need to remain engrossed and put their heads around this case to ensure that they convince the courts that they were not part of the loss of millions at the troubled sugar miller. Francis Ontomwa, KTN News, Milimani Law Courts, Nairobi.
Police in Nairobi's Parkland area have gunned down 4 suspects linked with the murder of the late father John Njoroge through a robbery with violence incident. Police say the gunmen were on a mission to rob Parkland's K1 club before they were ambushed and killed. Abubakar Abdullahi with that story.
For more than 2 weeks, the 4 suspected gunmen were on police watch list for the murder of a Kiambu priest who was robbed and killed while on his way to bank church offerings.
So, but this one will be proved after the firearms that have been recovered will be subjected to a ballistic examination. Once this is done, then we'll be able to confirm they're actually the criminals who did that.
And today, oblivious of what awaited them, they parked their car along this stretch in Parkland's Ojijo Road, few meters from K1 Club, where police say was their next planned robbery destination. But that plot was nipped in the bud, according to the police.
Members of the public had passed this information to the police that there was a planned robbery that was to take place at K1 Club when they would be taking their money to the bank in the afternoon. So officers were on trail, and when they got at this point, on suspicion of the motor vehicle that was parked on the roadside, they stopped to find out who these people were.
Police say they believe this car is the same one the hitmen used in the killing of the priest before they took the offertory collections. Police are still in hot pursuit of a 5th gunman who escaped during the shootout. Abubakar Abdullahi for KTN News.
Deputy President William Ruto has cautioned leaders to shun tribal politics. Ruto spoke in Kakamega County, where he graced a bullfighting ceremony. The DP's visit to the western region comes at a time where his allies are fighting remarks made by Jubilee Vice Chair David Murathe in Vihiga that the party is under no obligation to enforce any post-2017 deal between Ruto and his boss, President Uhuru Kenyatta. Mumia Sugar reports.
Ending the year in style for residents of Ikolomani constituency in Kakamega, a day of high spirits as they converged at Malinya Stadium. For the Idaho Cultural Festival, famous for bullfighting ceremonies, the cultural feat that has come to define the political career of former Kakamega Senator Boni Halwale, who on this day invited a special guest. A former four-turned-strong ally, Deputy President William Ruto. Present also were a host of other local leaders. A bull called Simba, locking horns with another dubbed Jubilee, was the big fight of the day. But on this day, Jubilee carried the day and its owner was rewarded with a heifer. And like in such bullfighting contests where grass is the primary victim, Ruto had a message to leaders advocating politics of hate.
Mambo ya siasa ya Kenya. Hatuna nafasi ya kuendesha siasa ya ukabila na chuki na mgawanyiko. Tunataka siasa ya kuunganisha Wakenya wote wawe kitu kimoja. Mheshimiwa Ruto, ukitaka mambo ya hawa watu, ukitaka mambo ya Waluya, umejionea na macho yako, wote wametiririka hapa, wanakuambia kwamba tembea na Dr. Boni Halwale and your life will be very easy in Luyaland. Akena hatuko pamoja, sisi wana Jubilee tunaendelea nayo. Na ndio tunataka ndugu yetu Musalia Mudavadi pia kuje tuweze kuwa pamoja. Ama namna gani? Lakini sisi leo ni marafiki.
Ruto's Ikolomani visit was his first to the western region, since Jubilee Vice Chair David Murathe graced the Maragoli Cultural Festival in Vihiga, where he appeared to punch holes into claims of existence of an agreement between Ruto and his boss President Uhuru Kenyatta to support Ruto's 2022 State House bid.
Kabla siasa ijaanza, niwaambie kwamba kama vile Lucky Dube alisema, no one can stop reggae. No one can stop reggae. You can change the style of reggae, you can sing reggae in another forum, lakini no one can stop reggae. Kitu moja tu anaweza sikia William Ruto ni moja. Ni kama polling center itakuwa kwa bar na zile kura zitahesabiwa itakuwa ni chupa ya pombe. Hawa walevi hatuwajui, Mount Kenya region na Kenya yote tuko ndani ya William Samoei Ruto.
Good evening. President Kenyatta has since distanced himself from Murathe's remarks, warning that his commitment is centered on actualization of his development agenda during his remaining 4 years in office. Mumia Sugar News.
This morning, we're asking you, what are your top 3 goals for 2019? Your tweets still continue to stream in. Let me read one before we take this commercial break. Julius will say, Happy New Year, Zinze. Happy New Year to you too. My top New Year goals are as follows: to build my partial home, sire my lastborn, expand my business empire, and finally to glorify God. All right, so that's Julius. He's even mentioned 4 of them. Would love to know, what are your top 3 goals for 2019, be it financially, business-wise, spiritually, health, career-wise. Tweet us all that, and we'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll dive into the discussion that I promised you earlier. We'll be right back.